Have you heard this whole like grounding thing going around? I get ads for it all the time.
Dude.
On Instagram now.
We got converted, bro.
Yeah, we're grounding right now, dude. Our energy is connecting with the earth.
No, I mean like we got one of those. Like,
oh, you got one?
The mattress.
No way.
The sheets for Christmas. Yeah.
And, so it has like a wire that connects and goes out into the ground?
Like it goes into the ground of the outlet. So like, there's 3 prongs in the outlet. Yeah. The third prong underneath the 2 is the ground. And so that actually is it's the same type of current that they talk about is like in the earth. So all you do is you just plug that thing into the third eye of the outlet. And it's supposed to like go through the bed sheets and stuff, and you connect the pillow sheets to the bed sheet.
Oh, so you don't have to connect it to like the actual ground outside?
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I think your house, like your electricity in your house is connected to the ground that way. That's where the ground comes from.
Yeah, okay.
Of the outlet.
Wow.
That's what I understand.
That is like, I did not know that.
Yeah. So the whole thing is like, you can get your grounding in while you're asleep. Which, to be honest, I don't even know if it's had an effect on us. Well, I guess we'll find out in 60 years.
Yeah, 60 years.
We'll see.
Maybe then.
Yeah. Apparently it's supposed to cure cancer and all this stuff. So
Apparently
every new age, any type of like holistic thing is supposed to cure cancer these days.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Like it goes from like helping with mild like arthritis to being able to cure cancer, and you're like, wow, where did that?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I watched a video of a guy who had like the what are those the things that read electricity?
Voltmeters?
Yeah, voltmeter. And he's outside and he connects it into the ground.
Yeah, I've seen that same ad.
Yeah, but like there's no charge. Like he's holding it, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's no charge. And then he steps onto the grass barefoot and there's a charge.
No, I mean, it's like legit. It's a legit science.
It's pretty wild.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's legit science. I just don't know if I'm like old enough to feel the effects yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I just wonder. It's clear that there is an electrical charge that flows through you.
Yeah.
But
how much does it actually help
How much is that actually like?
That is the question.
Yeah.
I mean, the logic makes sense. At first I thought it was super weird. I was like, this is like total BS. But then like the more people I saw about it and some of the studies they did that I saw on their ad, so I didn't really do any third-party research. But that segues actually really well into what we were talking about today. We've been talking a lot about the church and about discipleship and about how we don't really feel like the people are getting from church what they need. And we heard a pastor say this, that the reason young people are not coming to church is because they don't know who Jesus is, which I agree with. We agree with. But I thought about this today before we got here, I thought about this I've heard from many people in our generation, young people, that what they're promised to get from church, like from God, from Jesus, from the Bible, like from all this stuff, they never really experience. Or maybe they experience like a lesser version of it. So it got me thinking, like, have you ever bought like a product off Instagram or something, and it like, they tell you that it's going to do this certain thing. They hype it up. And then you get it and you're like, this didn't really do what it said it was going to do.
Yeah.
But they sell you on it based off of a little bit of human psychology. Like the whole point of marketing is literally to get you to believe that it'll solve a bigger problem like a bigger problem in your life than actually the product does. Like this will elevate my social status, or this will, this will fix the problem, which will give me my time back. Like there's always a bigger payoff that they're trying to sell you than actually what the product does. So let's take the grounding sheets for example.
Yeah.
The grounding sheets on the surface is you'll get to ground while you're asleep, so you don't have to stand outside every day and do it. Because who does that?
Right.
And enough time.
Yeah. Nobody has
But
time for that.
the thing they're actually selling you is wellness. That if you do ground enough, then your chronic pain will go away. You'll sleep better. X, Y, and Z will be healed that you're struggling with. And that's why people really buy.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is the church has done the same thing, where they've tried to sell people this life change, and when people say yes and they sign up for it by raising their hands in church, they're often sorely disappointed in what they actually get in terms of life change. But what we've experienced, Zach, and what we've been talking about the last few podcasts is the true gospel, discipleship, living your life in a way that Jesus intended as an apprentice to him, actually not just gives you what he said it was going to give you, but actually over-delivers.
Yeah.
It gives you over and abundantly more than what you could have imagined.
Yes.
And that's what I believe is the core reason why Christianity spread so quickly after Jesus' death and resurrection. It was like they were really living in a way that it wasn't this sleazy marketing. It wasn't this like, sign up to be in my church and then we promise we'll not just get you into heaven, but get your life, make you feel better, get your life right, fix your relationships. Like it really was just a true life change.
It was.
People's lives were truly changed for the better.
Yeah, so often it's like it feels like you're kind of just going through, like the Christian life, what we're describing, that's like not what you expect it to be. It turns out, it ends up being this thing where you're just kind of waiting for the next spiritual high.
Yes.
It's like a month to month, or like retreat to retreat, or I'm waiting for the next men's group, or I'm waiting for the next revival to get that spiritual high, and you're missing the day-to-day, every moment of your life submission to God that truly transforms you.
And that in itself incentivizes churches to spend all their money to make your Sunday experience that much better.
Yes.
And so we have
it's like you want every Sunday morning to be this big spiritual revival. That's like the goal. And if you leave a Sunday morning not feeling goosebumps, or like you got some crazy or
revelation or
something, during worship or from the sermon, then it's like you leave disappointed.
Yeah.
And unfulfilled.
And that is exactly what we're talking about with consumer Christianity. That is the definition of what we've created.
Yeah, you're literally a consumer.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We're literally we're doing everything a business does. We're marketing a product that if you come in, we'll solve a problem for you.
Yeah. And if it doesn't solve, then you're going to go shopping for another church.
Yes, dude. Exactly.
Yeah. If the product doesn't deliver,
and that's
then you go find the better product.
That's the thing, Zach, is the product isn't delivering.
Yeah.
En masse. And that's why we're seeing all these numbers of churches closing down. They can't hang. Yeah. It's the same thing that's happening with small businesses right now, is the big corporations come in and they buy up everything. They undercut pricing and they over-deliver on value until the small businesses go out of business.
Yeah.
And then they have a monopoly on things, and so then they end up controlling demand. And the same thing happens with mega churches, is all of a sudden it's like, well, why would I go to my, Assemblies of God or Methodist or Pentecostal or Presbyterian church down the road in my podunk town when I can listen in to a big star, like insert anyone you want, Craig O'Shell, freaking Mike Todd, or Stephen
Yeah.
Furtick. Like
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
listen in and get a production of your life. You know you're going to be entertained. You know the worship's going to be quote unquote good.
Yeah.
You know all of that. And so then, because the other churches are literally small businesses, they miss out on your tithe, they miss out on your service, they miss out on all this stuff, and then they literally go out of business. They close their doors.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that guy Chris was talking about. All these churches are closing every month. 200 to 300 churches are closing
Yeah.
every month.
Yeah.
Literally
he
a
said
deficit.
He said more churches are closing their doors than
Then
opening.
opening.
them. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Statistically, like we're not just making this up.
No.
The church is actually failing.
And that proves to me how the church has probably unconsciously copied or imitated the American business model, the industrialization.
Yeah, like the corporate
Literally.
world or whatever.
And the corporate world, think about it, the corporate world is all about growth. It's pump those numbers up
Yeah.
and pump the profit up. That's the only thing that they're after. But Jesus was after the complete opposite. He did not say, let's get as many people in my group as possible. He said, let me go as deep as possible with 12 guys. And he had an 11 out of 12 conversion rate. And the only reason he didn't, like Judas was ready to come back to him, but he was so distraught that he took his own life. But because, oh my gosh, dude, that's what we're missing so bad. We're missing this so bad. Because Jesus went so deep with those 11, 12 disciples,
Yeah.
it created the best disciples possible.
Exactly.
And
dude.
they brought in the numbers.
Yeah.
But we do it the opposite right now.
Dude, so Dallas Willard, he says, I think you actually just read this. This is like page 304, 305.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we are, of course, not talking about eliminating non-disciple consumer Christianity. It has its place. But we are talking about making it secondary as far as our intentions are concerned. We would intend to make disciples and let converts happen, rather than intending to make converts and letting disciples happen.
Dude, that's it.
That's it, dude. It's like you said, it's about numbers. It's just building the institute, building the organization, gaining those numbers in, getting those hands raised. And then discipleship was like, we'll disciple them once they're in. But nah,
It's not happening.
It's not
clearly
happening.
not happening.
But it should be inversed. Empower the believers, teach them to be disciples, an apprentice of Christ. And then in turn, their witness becomes, I don't know, I guess stronger, but even just real.
More authentic.
Yeah, more authentic.
It's empowered authenticity.
Yeah. And so then they can share a real, genuine, life-changing experience with another person.
Yes.
And then they in turn become a disciple of Christ. And then that's how it multiplies.
Yeah.
That's how Christianity expanded
Yes.
when Jesus left.
It's so wild to me how we can be so blind to that, and how I was so
Yeah.
blind to that.
Well, it's just crazy because they say that some of the biggest, I guess, evidence of, or I guess like some of the strongest arguments for Christianity is the fact of is like the, I guess, just the observance and evidence of the rapid growth of Christianity, that it happened so fast, like after Jesus' death.
Yeah.
And I think that's the result of them understanding this way of life, where no one had ever done that before. Like they were living in a way that was shocking to other people, where truly they were able to put others before themselves. and live in a way that where they're, like it says in Acts, where no one was without need. They're all serving Christ. They're all in pursuit of a relationship with Him, and in turn, Christ's nature is arising within them, and then it's literally, they're just sharing it with one another, and it's just this whole community of people living like Christ. Which, dude, if you believe in the gospel, and if you believe in the power of Jesus, that should be world changing, and it was.